Today, in video 3, we are going to talk about positive and negative space. Like the Google slides I showed you already, you can identify positive and negative space by where something takes up the space. This is called positive. The empty space is called negative. In our ribbon drawing, we are going to use the positive and negative space, and we are going to color all of the negative space in black. Before we get to that, we're going to talk about our supplies. We are going to be using king size Sharpies today, and we're going to be using fine point Sharpies. We're going to begin with our fine point Sharpies. We have our whole picture laid out. So what we're going to do is we are going to take a fine point Sharpie, and we are going to begin to outline the entire picture. When we outline, you really want to make sure you go over all of your pencil lines exactly how you drew them, because with the ribbons, if you draw one line wrong, it could make your whole ribbon no longer look three-dimensional. You want to take your time. You want to make sure that you're doing a really nice smooth outline as well. And you want to make sure that you have a placemat underneath your ribbon drawing, especially since we are using Sharpies. The Sharpies could go right through the paper. So we want to make sure that we have a placemat to work on. So we're going to continue outlining this with the fine point Sharpie until we've outlined all of our lines. Really make sure that we do not go over the ribbons, because we've already created space and it looks three-dimensional. So we want to make sure that we are just outlining the ribbons that we see. After we outline all of our ribbons, we are going to move to the next step, which is identifying the negative space. Like we talked about before, the negative space is where there is no ribbon. We are going to color all those spaces in using the king size Sharpie right here. So this gets a little tricky because there's a lot going on in this picture. So take this part slow. What you're going to do is you're going to dot out all of the negative spaces with the Sharpie. So right here there is no ribbon. Here is my ribbon. So I'm going to dot that area out. This area, there is no ribbon. There is no ribbon here, here, here. And what you're going to do is you are going to dot out all of the areas. If you need help with this, because in some areas over here it gets a little tricky, just ask me and I will come and help you identify where the negative spaces are in your ribbons. After you've identified all of your negative spaces, you are going to color them in solid black. The way to do this is really carefully go over the negative spaces with the marker. You do not want to do this. Okay, first of all, you're drying out the marker quickly. It looks gray, it doesn't look black. We want to make sure that these areas are solid black. So really take your time. I know the squeakiness of the Sharpie can be a little annoying, so don't push down really hard. Just push down real lightly. You will get a nice black line by pressing down lightly. You also want to make sure that when you're going against the ribbon right here on the edge, that you are really taking your time and filling in the areas. So you're going to continue to color in all of the negative areas using the black king size Sharpie. If you go up to the edge, so this section here, you're actually going to take your black line and you're going to go right up to the edge so that we're completely coloring this black. I don't want you to do this on the edge. I want you to actually go all the way to the edge with the Sharpie so that all of the negative areas that are in here are completely solid black before we move on to video 4. If you have any questions, just ask.